Hey there, wonderful teachers. In this video, we're going to be exploring the app SuperScore and how you might like to use it in your studio. This is a really interesting one. If you have music that is in there that you want to use, it can be a great one for being able to play along with MIDI input at the keyboard. I'm going to show you all of its features so that you can see whether it's right for you. Let's dive in. Once you download and install the SuperScore app from the App Store, this is what it will look like. So this is a sample score that I've opened here, but the first page you get to is probably this one right here. It'll show some sample scores, but actually if you go to all scores, there's a few more than that showing there. I'm not sure why it's organized that way. We'll talk about the organization in just one moment. If you go into one of the pieces, let's go into Dolphin Dance where we just were. You'll see this score here, and there's a green line. Now my iPad is plugged in via MIDI cable, right here, camera connector to USB, and that means that it can hear me when I play, right? Not actually listening, but through the MIDI input. So there's different modes here where I can have it set up. If I go to normal, it just plays it back like that. Now if I go to learn, it's going to wait for me to play each note. So this is really the magic of SuperScore in my opinion. This is where it's really, really useful. So if I now press play and I'm on learn mode, it's going to wait for me to play that first note. Now I just showed you the problem with this, of course. It's not going to tell me if my rhythm is terrible. But that's kind of a different way of looking at music, and while you're going to need to train your student on keeping going throughout, and you can use the other modes for that, it's really useful to have this as a way for them to check to get the notes right. So for particular pieces, that can be really, really useful. So if I keep going, oh, it's moved and I didn't look at it. See? So if I make a mistake like that, like not paying attention to the fact that it's moved and I can't look at the finger numbers I can't look at the finger numbers and not the notes, then I'm going to be alerted to that fact. So that's a really handy feature of this. Now I had the pedal on there for a bit. You'll see the pedal lines. I don't think it's going to correct me or anything about that. If I pause that now and I change the mode, we can go to perform. It's not correcting me anymore, right? I played some wrong notes there and it's just keeping going. So this will keep going at the pace that we've set here. So let's say we set it a lot slower. So you can see the effect that that has. So it's around 60, 59. So it's just rolling through. Right, so it's going to keep rolling no matter what I play. But if I then go to play back the recorded performance, right, it's playing it exactly as I input it there. So that's a really handy feature, few really handy modes there. Now I want to show you the store next. This is where you actually buy scores. So SuperScore is not the type of app where you input your own music or upload whatever you want. It's the kind where you're actually purchasing scores within there and using them within their system. You can see why, because it's set up in a particular way to be able to actually listen to the MIDI input and read it through. So you can explore the store in a few different ways, and you can purchase tracks within there. And then once you're done, every time you need to click update and restore purchases. And then you'll have to enter your Apple ID to continue that. I'm not going to do it now because we didn't buy anything. And go to done to go back to the music as it is there. Just a few more features to show you then. So we've got a metronome, a loop here, and a sound button here as well. So we can make it silent. We can have the metronome on, and we can make it loop through again and again. So on the metronome, it's So that's where you're listening to the two together because that's normal playback mode. But if I have that on perform mode, then I can hear the metronome as I'm playing. You get the idea there, and obviously I still have it slowed down like we had before. Okay, so this app has some awesome features. It's got some free scores in there to try. It'll be great for sight reading. What do I not love about it? Well, to be honest, this music is pretty small, and everything I've explored so far, the music is a little bit small. That's not a huge issue for me or for an older student, but if you have a beginner, you're going to want to check that the music size is right for them, especially with something like this Dolphin Dance. That's not particularly difficult. It could do with the music being that little bit bigger. Of course, if you're on a larger device, that's going to be better, but not everyone has an iPad Pro. This is a standard size iPad that I'm using right now. My biggest niggle here is to do with the organization. So when you go into your folders there, so if I'm in the music view now, that looks quite nice. If I go into my folder, this organization system is a little bit confusing as it's loaded up. Now you can edit or create your own collections. However, when I go to the store, that's where I really found it quite confusing. So I can browse by publisher, and that's the only way I've been able to successfully navigate, to be honest. Like if I go down here to Red Leaf, that's where my friend June Armstrong is published, and you can see their pieces in there, which is great. Great for exploring. However, when I go to categories, a lot of them are kind of doubled up, or a few are doubled up, I should be fair. A few of them are kind of doubled up. So improvisation, fair enough, but we got keyboard ensemble here, and then we've got piano and keyboard ensemble. Is that not the same? Should we not combine those? And then we've got piano duets. I would be going into the ensemble because I saw that, and then wondering why the duets weren't there, and then going out. That's just me, maybe that one. But then piano solo and piano solos, those are clearly the same thing, right? So I think this could use a little bit more tweaking and defining so that different publishers don't get to say things slightly differently. I think that's what's happening here. However, you can browse by publisher, and that is handy, and that's the way I would really be finding things. What I found useful as a tip, if there's something you're looking for and you can't find where it is to go to the website and browse the catalogue on there because there's a search bar. However, it would be great if we could just add the search bar within the app here so that we could search, right? Some great things in here. We've got little gems for piano. We've got loads of great publishers here. I downloaded the Piano Safari sight reading cards myself, level 2, and it does show me here that this item is already installed and up to date, which is great that I'm not going to double purchase anything. We're going to buy one more thing just so I can show you the process of downloading something. So we're going to go into Alfred because I think it would be fun to test out one of these duet books. So something I've been wanting to explore is the Masterwork Classics duets, which are compiled classical duets. So I'm going to go into level 1 and we're going to buy that. Okay, my purchase was successful. Now if I go out of Alfred and go to update and restore purchases, click OK, I now need to enter my Apple ID. Okay, now this is the other little issue I have. So our purchase has been downloaded and is being placed in the Alfred. That's where it's going to be put. Fine, okay, sort of intuitive. Then I go to done, so I'm out of the store again, and I go back to my folders. Okay, it says restoration complete now. So that's great, that's not bad. However, it's not always that quick. It can take quite a while to update. So just if you've purchased something and it's not showing up, wait for that little notification to pop up, and then you know that it's actually there. Then we go into Masterwork Classics duets. Let's just go to the first one for fun. And I'm going to go to that learn mode to see. Oh, right, because it's up an octave. 2 octaves higher, yeah. I hope I'm not upsetting any of you. I'm doing that to show you how the learn mode works, that I'm randomly changing tempo there. Okay, so you got to see the page turn there as well, which is great, and we're practicing playing that duet part there. Let's go to jam mode next. Right, so that's how the different modes work and some flavor of the duet. Now if you're playing a duet and you want to switch the parts, you're going to go up to parts here. You can turn off the display of each part, and you can turn off follow, and you can turn off playback. So the follow part is the one that's actually following me play. So I can turn that from being primo to secondo, and I can also turn off one hand if I just want to practice one hand at a time. And then I can switch off the playback and the count off up here as well. The other thing which I can do is notate. So if I press that little pencil icon there, I can add my own notation. So let's say we always get this part wrong. I can circle that there and tap here to finish the drawing. These are all great features. I love this. We can show and hide that markup then, and we can skip through our book here since we have a full collection. One last thing I want to show you, since I know I have a lot of Piano Safari fans on the channel, and that is the sight reading cards which are within the app here. Now, it's great that these are here as a digital option. I love that. However, I was expecting it to follow my playback, and it doesn't do that. So I have the level 2 cards here. It's awesome that I can show them now, and I can use my iPad to screen share and use them in online lessons and stuff like that. That's awesome. And have them as a backup plan if I run out of a set and my student forgets them to bring them to their lesson. However, I was expecting a follow along version, and that's not what these are. These are just display, not like the rest of SuperScore. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but it's still great to have them as a backup in the app. Fantastic. I hope you enjoyed that review of the app SuperScore and that it gave you some food for thought when it comes to using this in your studio. Let me know what you thought of it and any questions you might have in the comments below.